And here we are again. Welcome back to Motorcycle Junkie. We're going to carry on with this GPZ project because pretty much that's all we've got going on at the minute. Still got plenty to get at. I'm going to have to do something with this old RKV125 one of these days. Anyway, right, what we're doing. Off camera, I've popped that valve cover back on. I have torqued it down to spec 9.8 Newton meters. Although in all fairness that's got to come off again, because if we decide to use this engine, it's got to be dressed. By dressed I mean rubbed down, painted, cleaned up, all that gunk shite took out of there. These have been painted over. They should be chrome. These should have chrome washers that have been painted over. These should be chrome as well. We've just got to make it look a little bit prettier. That is 130 psi on both pistons. It's a little low. I did get some useful information. Let me just check my phone, because credit where credit's due. If someone gives me some useful information, I'm gonna publicly say who they are. Right, where are we? I don't fucking know. How do you use this? GPZ. Hang on a minute. Right, here we go. Torque wrench max. He's popped a little message on here saying, according to the Quack manual, an EX500A1. I believe mine is a D, but I think the engines are the same. I don't know. Has an engine compression ratio of 10:8:1. Sorry mate, it means nothing to me. But he explains it further. This gives you a usable pressure of 128 to 196. Well, mine's 130. So one would suggest that it's in the range of being okay, albeit at the lower end. But he then goes on to say these are quite generic, used in a few different models. Bear in mind your compression ratio is 10:1. Don't know how you know that. I'm not doubting you for a second. Your knowledge of these engines is obviously much greater than mine. Normal air pressure is 15 psi. This gives you a starting point of 150 psi cranking. Mine's 130, so we are apparently below what is required. Torque wrench max. Thanks for that, mate. Very useful information. Appreciate that. We are going to work on this engine at some point. That's got zero compression. Wouldn't it be nice if it was just because the valves were being held open? But I'm not going to be that lucky. Anyway, we are going to get on to tearing that one down. This one we're going to pop down on the floor and just cover it up for the time being. We're done with that for now. What I also want to do, popping back outside to my parts bike, look at the state of that. What I would like to do is remove that engine. Two reasons. One, this frame can become a test bed if I need to pop the engine in and fire it up and run it just to see how she performs. Also, another reason I want to take this out. Well, let's start taking it out and then I will explain why I want to take it out, and you're going to think I'm absolutely mad. Right, very windy today. This camera is particularly susceptible to wind noise, so I apologise in advance if you can't hear me. Right, let's make a start. Now look at the state of that cover. I've ordered an Oxford one, a much better one, because I've had 3 or 4 of these cheapo 15 quid eBay jobs, that's what happens to them. They get a bit of wind, flap about in the wind, tear themselves to shreds. They're absolutely shit, so I hope this Oxford one will be done sort of better. Not that this bike is going to benefit from any weather protection. Right, so we'll get it up on this paddock stand because we've already robbed the main stand off it. These twisty things in this paddock stand. Fuck, they've seized. The cheap Audi WD-40 knockoff, probably the same stuff. Proper use of tools. Yeah, that's a bit sketchy, but it's up there. I'm just going to watch if I can find the key because the steering's locked on it. Right, that's on the paddock stand. It's a bit sketchy, and we want to take this engine out. So first thing I'm going to do is remove that sprocket cover. This engine's been detonated. It could never be fixed. Could it? Only a madman would attempt to fix this engine. Is that long enough? Such a good tool, this, so glad I bought it. I've got to remove that gear selector mechanism. Is it that one? Yep. wasn't even tight. Right, what holds up to the engine? Just yank off. Is that just do the socket set. Right, can't be bothered to drag the whole socket set yet here, so let's see if I can figure out 10 mil. Indeed. My battery might go up to camera actually, so if it does, you might see the end of this. Yes. Right. Come on off. Come on. I've removed the pinch bolt, but it just won't let go. Right, because I need to conserve battery, what have we got here? Hang on. I can't even fucking see. 52 minutes, I think. Right, I'll back in a minute. Right, I've wrestled that off. What you've got here, so that has got that pinch bolt on, which I'd removed. It also had a circlip. What have I done with the fucking circlip? Not that I can reuse it anyway, but as well as the pinch bolt, it had a circlip on the end of the shaft, and it was part seized on. So that took a bit of wrestling off, but it's off. And I've popped off that front sprocket cover, and as you can see, here back, every time I go to zoom I turn you off. There you go. No, I haven't removed one of those bolts. That's how I found it. So imagine you're blatting along at flat out and that bloody thing lets go. So always, you know, maintenance people do. What were they thinking of? Unless of course it's just fallen out. But anyway, let us remove the one remaining bolt that it does have, if we can. 8 mil. And that one weren't even tight. In fact, I'm not even sure. Look at the length of that. That's not even the right bolt. There we go. Off with the keep plate. And hopefully off with the front sprocket. Although it's being a bit rusty, it doesn't actually look in bad shape. I suppose I could have split the chain, that would have been easier, wouldn't it? But why make life easy? Come on, off you come. Right, there we go. Yeah. I think that's reusable. What do you think? For the time being. There's a cable tie there. Need to remove. We could go and get some snips, but couldn't be asked. There we go. No, it's not. Okay, and then there's a connector here, covered in shite and grease that we need to free up. There we go. Pop frame's any good, I am going to reuse it on a completely different project. Hence the reason for having two engines. Right, I think that one's the neutral. That one. I think that's low oil, is it? I don't fucking know. Yeah, right, so there's a bolt there I've got to get off. Right, let me just, because I want to conserve my battery, we'll have a quick walk around with the camera, tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to turn the camera off and go and do it. Right, okay, right. So, where are the bolts? Right, there's a neutral down there, which I've got to disconnect. As you can see, the head and barrel was removed a long time ago. So we've got an engine bolt there to remove. We've got engine bolt there to remove. We're going to remove the clutch cable there. We are also going to remove this entire side cradle because it pops off, makes it much easier. Good idea. Don't know why all bikes don't do it. What else? I need to, this blue bodywork, I intend to reuse it on my good bike, on the one I'm going to keep. It's not the best, and one day maybe I can get more better bodywork or have this repainted, but yeah, anyway, I'm waffling. Let me undo those bits and pieces I've just pointed out. I think I'll remove that. No, I don't want to remove the side stand, that'll just make it awkward. When I'm ready to lift the engine out, I'll turn camera back on. Right then, I think the engine is free. Not 100%, I'm bound to have forgotten something because that's just me. Right, so I had some difficulty with this this cradle bar. It's come off the engine okay, but it's attached to the radiator, and the bolt attaching it is rounded, seized, corroded, etc, etc, and I cannot shift it. I don't know if I can jiggle the engine out without that being a problem. I don't want to cut it off because I've either got to cut the cradle bracket or cut the radiator, and I don't know that I may well have to reuse that radiator. I wonder if I can get a little saw in there, and it's hard for you guys to see, but it's basically, hang on, it's there, it's, yeah, I wonder, let me try and get a saw in there and then we'll come back for the engine lift. Some of the bolts were heavily corroded, we had to get Bertie the breaker bar on some of them, but yeah, let's get a saw. If I can get that off, we will, and if we won't, we're just going to have to try and jiggle our way around it. Yes, I was able to hacksaw that off, so that was the issue there. So I'll just leave that popped in there. So yeah, that was what the first one sheared anyway, as you can see. Second one, I had to saw it, so we'll certainly have to do something with them if and when we come to reuse this frame. Right, I think we're ready to try and wrestle that engine out, so let's go for it. Oh dear, are you recording? Yeah, of course you are. Right, these ain't light, I can tell you that for nothing. didn't bring any pliers with me to let the jack down, which was rather foolish. Gravity is your friend. Right. Drag that out. There's no oil in it anyway, so. Oh yes, knew I'd forget one. So that's the, I don't know if it's the low oil pressure warning or the oil pressure switch. Oil pressure switch, I would imagine, but let's see if that will come out. Of course it won't. Yeah, come around here. You can't see nothing there, can you? Right, there's that. So there's an oil pressure switch down here. I'll just have to snip the wire. Socket on it, a very, very small socket. 6 mil? No, it's bigger than 6. It's probably 8 then, because nothing's 7, is it? It's not 8. Seven then. Nothing's 7, I said. No, it's not 7. Tried 6 already. And if it's 6.5, I ain't got a 6.5. And I'm guessing that's what it is. Or, of course, some sort of weird imperial size. I don't have a great deal of imperial stuff, due to the fact that I'm not American. I think it's like a fork connector, so I've only probably got a loose, that's broke anyway. It's broke off, we'll worry about that later. Okay, right, come over here, just so we can pull that out from under the bike. What a mess. What a complete and utter mess. Right. I was reviewing one of my videos the other day, editing it, and I say right a lot, don't I? Right, let's crack on, right. It's one of them things, isn't it? Who cares? Right, just wipe my hands a bit. Right, let's I've done it again. Right. Anyway, that'll do. There it is. One completely knackered, detonated engine. Now I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up, put a few bits back on that bike so they don't get lost, and we'll get that engine up on the bench and have a look at it. Back soon. Right, I've had a tidy up, got all that bar and everything back on, just bolted the bits loosely on. I'm hoping that one day this will go back on the road, although not in the form you see it. Certainly won't be blue because I'm having that bodywork off for me other one, as already mentioned. I've somehow got to wrestle that engine into the shed, get it on the bench. It's fucking heavy and my back is not in the best of shape at the moment, but hey ho, let's give it a go, get that back off the paddock on its stand, and then as previously said, we'll hopefully take a look at it. Right then, let's take a look at this engine. I've got it up on the bench, and my back will pay for that later. So we're all agreed this cannot be fixed, yes? So let's take a look at it. I'll try and get you in. Now if we look down there behind cylinder number 1, we see it's got a fucking great hole in it. The The crank itself, there is zero play in that, so the crank is savable. So spare parts maybe. For those who haven't seen it before, that's the piston that come out of it. This is the cylinder head, which I've honed, and it's got some damage in there, as you can see, but is that usable? I reckon it might be. I don't know how great it'll be, but yeah, I don't know. Cylinder head, I mean, that's fucking toast. There's no saving that, is there? So what am I doing? What am I playing at? You can't fix it, can you? So we're all agreed it cannot be fixed. No, we're not all agreed, because I'm going to try and fix it. You cranky bastard. Yeah, how can I possibly fix this? Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do. And I'm not, this is just for me to play about with, to see if I can do it, to see if I can get this engine running. And what we're going to do, we're going to reuse that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and do this for zero money. I don't know when. Soon, hopefully, because I'm keen to get stuck into it. So I'm going to be reusing gaskets, I'm going to be reusing seals, I'm going to be doing all the things you're not supposed to do. I'm not selling this engine on, I'm not trying to rip anyone off, this is me playing. Cylinder head, I think all the guides, and there's bits and pieces on here we can rescue. You may remember, I don't know where it is, but I've got a cylinder head somewhere where it's got a couple of broken bolts in it, and I attempted to get them out and failed. We'll revisit that, see if we can rescue that cylinder head. I know these are line board, and you're supposed to keep the original camshafts with the original head. I haven't got the original camshafts with that other head, so again I'm going to be doing what you're not supposed to do and putting foreign camshafts in it. I've got on eBay, someone was selling 2 standard pistons, used, but 2 standard good looking pistons. He was asking $14.99 each for them. I offered him 20 quid the pair, he accepted it. They're on their way, they've got rings on. Hopefully I'll be able to reuse them with them barrels. But the elephant in the room is that fucking gret hole there. So what we're going to do about that? Well, also eBay, 20 quid delivered. I found some empty engine casings. So it's all coming together, isn't it? We are going to tear this down to its bare components. We're going to refit it, hopefully, if everything in here has survived. We're going to refit it. We're going to use that cylinder. We're going to do it for as near to zero cost as we possibly can, and just see if we can get an engine that may or may not run. That piece of metal there does look like it's imploded outwards, so I'm hoping that it's not gone inside the engine. Or if it has gone inside the engine, I'm hoping it's not mangled up the gears, because then it's basically game over, isn't it? So, is this worth doing? No. Am I going to get a decent engine out of it? Probably not. I might get a runner out of it. I'm doing it for my and your entertainment, nothing more than that. See if we can get a running engine out of something that clearly cannot ever be repaired. Or can it? Cheers guys, catch you later.